everyone, Kenzie Benali looking back at our top 100 goals of the decade from 2010 to 2019. In this video, we're counting down from goals 80 to number 71, and this countdown starts at Craven Cottage.
Gabbiadini brings it down, gets a 1-2 with Cedric back heel towards Armstrong. What a great finish from Stuart Armstrong. 18 yards out, curls a beauty right-footed.
You've got to put him into situations where he can see the picture. You've got to let him decide where his runs have got to be. You leave it to him to make those runs and he will get you goals. But I think I don't think his career has gone as he would have liked here. I think there's a number of reasons for that. I think sometimes he's been played in different positions. His timing of his runs, he will get you goals in the box, but that particular one, he picks it up on the edge of the box and again gambles, he hits it well and it flies in the far corner. Good goal.
Well, Saints' record at Anfield is pretty abysmal over the last 20 years, I suggest, at least. I mean, it's always been a hard place to go. It's always a fortress. So to get a win there was massive, and it really boosted Saints at the time. Now, I know DEJAN LOVREN will never be a player liked by Saints fans, but to score such a famous goal for the club, a league victory at Anfield for the first time in ages, was a massive moment. So you have to give him credit for that.
Kind of a feeling of a slight sense of disbelief that actually that result was going to happen, and when Lovren scored, it was right in front of the Saints fans. He sort of heads the ball and sort of follows the trajectory right in front of the fans, and I just remember the noise coming from the Saints fans and the sort of almost delirium that Saints were going to go there and get such a special result in what was a very special time for the club as well.
To score that one, obviously, needs more quality. You need to generate the power and obviously the angle to get it on goal in the first, and obviously hard enough to pass the keeper. So that's a good, really good goal. And him as a player, I'm not surprised. He was a very, very determined, sort of hard-working player that had a lot of power.
Saints winning at Anfield there back in September 2013. What a day. Now, we're 21 goals into our countdown, but we're still yet to see any from Rickie Lambert. So let's put that right, shall we? This was actually the first goal of the decade on the 2nd of January 2010. Rickie Lambert against Luton in the FA Cup.
Lambert's free kick, right foot, curls it, brilliant!
I go through phases where I'm confident or I'm not so confident. Around that time, I can remember I was very confident. I think I was hitting free kicks the way I would want to hit a free kick.
I thought it was the closest I'd seen to somebody who kind of hit the ball similar to what I did since I retired here. James Beattie wasn't bad at set pieces. He hit some good free kicks, but Rickie had a very similar kind of technique to me and tended to score in the same kind of style from his free kicks. You know, that's a long way out to stick one in the top corner from there and the goalkeeper to have no chance at all. That's great technique.
I knew it was in. I knew exactly where I was going to put it. Whether the keeper was going to save it or not was a different matter. And as soon as I took it, I knew it was going to go in, mate. It was, like I said, I go through ups and downs, and I was definitely in the middle of an up there, and like I said, that's what happens when it all comes together.
Davis holds off his opposite number 8, Andy Carroll, and plays a good forward ball to Rodriguez. Rodriguez in the penalty area, Collins for company, turns inside him, trying to find room for the shot, finds a pass to LALLANA, who smashes his first goal of the season into the roof of the net past Jussi Jääskeläinen.
Well, on that one, it's something I love from a midfield player. A midfield player being able to get from midfield into the box. He's got into the box, but when he's got into the box, the game has died to some degree because he's standing still. Then the play comes to him, the ball comes to him, but he has to think like a striker now because the play has actually stopped. He's stopped, and he's got to now play in the position where he finds himself, which is the striker's position, receives the ball, quick as a flash, on the turn, scores a goal. So that particular goal, he scored like a striker.
Now Lambert takes it in a similar position, slides it into the feet of Ramirez. First time ball is a beauty. Clyne's made his run. Clyne with the shot, and Southampton have the lead.
I remember in the build-up to the game against Aston Villa that there was a real feeling of really could do with a win today. After the 4 back-to-back defeats to start life back in the Premier League, there was just that feeling of, because I guess when you get promoted as well, you've got that uncertainty of, are the team going to be good enough? Are the players going to be good enough? Is it just going to be a stretch too far? Are you, as a promoted team, are you worried that you're just going to kind of yo-yo back down again? And Saints needed something. They needed to make a statement. It was a lovely sunny day at St Mary's, and they needed to kind of really turn it on. And Villa were a team that looked like they were a beatable team as well. And you kind of feared that if they didn't win that, then where would the win come from? And in the end, it was a very convincing win. And I think the manner of that victory, and it's kind of typified by Nathaniel Clyne's goal, was very confidence boosting, in that you see the interplay amongst the team. There's 2 quick passes that put him in, then he produces the finish. It's a great team goal. And I think the mood afterwards was, you know what, actually, we do belong at this level. There were enough wins there for us this season that while nobody expected them to sort of be challenging in the top 6, actually there's enough wins that we could finish 4th from bottom or better here. And we've got a team that are good enough. And I think that game really was the catalyst for that self-belief and self-confidence in the team. And obviously they went on to deliver exactly that and establish the team back in the Premier League again.
Well, there we go. Great memories of Southampton back in the Premier League, and another goal for Nathaniel Clyne. And actually, it's not the last time he appears in our countdown. But for now, we're going back to September 2014 and a strike from Morgan Schneiderlin at St Mary's.
Back heel from Taylor is good. Ward-Prowse passes it on to Schneiderlin. Might get a shot away here. No tackle. Oh, what a beautiful finish.
Let me talk a bit about Schneiderlin. I like Schneiderlin. I thought Schneiderlin was a good player. Since he left, he has gone backwards. I would have liked to have seen him encourage more to get forward and get beyond his strikers and make runs into space and into the 18-yard box, because I think he had the ability and never really showed that ability.
I don't think it was confidence, because I think he had confidence in his game. It was just calmness around whenever he got into a shooting area, he would just get too excited and his technique would go a little bit, and he used to get frustrated. But I said to him, as soon as you calm down, mate, and stop thinking it's a big deal, the goals will come, and later on in his career they did.
That particular goal there, he's got forward, the ball's come from the right, it's flicked on by Pella, Ward-Prowse plays it on, he's had time to stop the ball, he moves the ball inside and clips it round the goalkeeper, and it's a good goal. And that's exactly the point I'm making, that if he'd have got himself into those positions more, I think he could have scored more goals. But from leaving Southampton, I don't think he fulfilled his full potential.
Now Saints come again to the 18-yard box. Redmond right-footed. What a strike from Nathan Redmond!
Yeah, I just remember sort of the ball, me watching Yannick head the ball and Chaz sort of touching it to the side to me, and I just thought, just drive, take us up the pitch. I think I remember Chaz screaming, saying, "Give it to Tiggs," and Tiggs was bombing down the left. And I was I half wanted to, but I thought, there was no way I could cut inside again. So I just made the decision to chop back and take, I think it was a recovering defender at the game, and I just hit it. There's no secret to it, to be honest. There's nothing me thinking I'll catch him off guard or looked at the keeper. I just hit it, and it went in.
Now we're rewinding the clock back to October 2011. Nigel Adkins took his Southampton side to Reading in the Championship, and it will be remembered for this moment of magic by Steve de Ridder.
Richardson takes the throw, looking for Gooley. Lovely layoff by Gooley. De Ridder's in behind the defence on the right in the penalty. Onto his left foot. Oh, what a goal by Steve de Ridder!
So Steve, I used to get changed next to him. Steve-O, great character, like moody as they come. Every morning he was moody, and I'd just come in and rip him, really, try and get a reaction out of him. I think he hated me for the first 2 months because of it, and then once he got to understand that it's because I actually liked him, we became really close.
I think he's one of those guys that always seemed to have an awful lot of potential. It was just kind of how you got it out of him, really, and squeezed it out of him. But the goal that he scored, the one that flies in off the bottom of the crossbar, I mean, it's an absolute banger. It's such a great, pure, sweet strike. And I guess that's what he had in his locker, and why he was always kind of one of those players that I think people wanted him to do well, because when he was on song, it was exciting.
Rodriguez gets his first touch. Back to goal, 35 yards out, turns away from trouble though. Might hit it from distance, straight to the goalie, fumbles it, Ramirez dinks it into the goal! And Gaston Ramirez gives Southampton an equaliser against Queen's Park Rangers.
I think Gaston ultimately will be remembered as a player that flattered to deceive. Immense talent, great touch, but probably for the Premier League, the application probably wasn't always there. That goal at Queen's Park Rangers he scored showed that deft touch. What an incredibly gifted bit of skill that is. It looks easy, but to lift it and get it down so close to the goalkeeper showed what magnificent skill he had as a footballer. It's just a shame, really, that in a system where Mauricio Pochettino wanted everyone to press so hard and work so hard without the ball, that wasn't really his game. And I'd say he probably could have made more of his career in the end than he ultimately did.
Chaplow hits it early in towards the Watford centre half. Lambert couldn't collect, but Schneiderlin's come bursting onto the ball. He's got LALLANA to his left, edge of the penalty area now, twists it back onto his right foot, squares it to the edge of the D, low shot, 2-0, fantastic finish from Lambert. First time, side foot, into the corner, Kuszak stood still.
Well, that's a one where LALLANA again is on the edge of the box. He screens the ball, he keeps the ball, plays the ball square. Rickie's come from a slightly deeper position, like I said, because Rickie could drop off the striking position into what I call the hole between the front and the midfield. He's coming from that position straight onto it. A lot of technique there.
I learned that Ads was always most probably going to turn back at some point. So I was trying to hold back and get into a position, not go too far into the box where he couldn't see me. Hold back and get into a position that if he does turn, to lay me off. And I already had in my head, you're gonna have to hit the first time, because there was a few people around me, and he did, turned, and he seen me right into my path, and I've caught it. Brilliant. It was a sweet strike, especially coming across you. It's not an easy strike to do, and it's gone exactly where I wanted it to go, and yeah, the keeper had no chance.
There's plenty more Rickie Lambert goals coming up, I promise. In part 4, we'll be looking at another Rickie Lambert strike and the fastest goal in Premier League history.